Hello, it's me, Michael Tic Tac, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about foxes. These cheeky animals are generally known for being mischievous and they can't really be trusted. But even so, that's not going to stop me from using a bunch of fox Pokemon to take over the entire region of Paldea. This means slaying every Titan Pokemon in the game, defeating every gym leader I come across and becoming champion, raiding every team stud base while beating up their bosses, and let's not forget about Professor Sada in Area 0. As usual, I'll be doing this with hardcore Nuzlocke rules as shown on the screen now, and well, let's just jump straight into it. Things start off just like any other run I do. We head downstairs, watch as the director of my school flirts with my mum, put on some dorky clothes, and then head outside only to be disappointed by the starter options we have, as none of these guys are foxes. Now you're probably wondering, how exactly am I going to get my hands on a fox-like Pokemon? Or maybe you're not wondering that. Who really knows? But to answer the question anyway, I simply trade off this Lechonk I caught earlier and then get my hands on a mysterious egg. Now we turn on the Sonic music and we start running. Yep, inside this delicious egg was a starter back from Pokemon X and Y, Fennekin. Okay, I'm not sure why I said this egg was delicious. That was kind of weird. It's a girl, so she gets the name Wanda, and now we can head to Mesagoza. Well, that was the plan, but Nimona has other ideas, so let's teach her a lesson first. Wanda isn't exactly the best matchup against Quaxley, but a couple of Swifts from our Fox can eliminate the Duck. Next is Epawmi, but it's nothing a couple of Embers can't deal with, giving us the win. The Academy is our next destination, and geez, these guys really need to install some lifts around here. They can't be expecting everyone to run up these stairs all day. Inside the academy we go, and all I want to do is collect the 3 main quests from our fellow students and the school hacker. You've got to help me out so I can finally make my dream a reality. Yeah, I'm gonna need to hear more about this dream first, buddy. Turns out he just wants us to slay a bunch of Titans and collect some special herbs for his sandwiches, which is the Path of Legends quest. Nimona is next up, and her request is pretty straightforward, wanting us to beat up the gym leaders around Paldea and then become a champion, the Victory Road questline. Finally, it's the hacker Cassiopeia, who needs our help dealing with Team Star and their bosses, giving us the Starfall Street questline. Now that we have all our quests, we can finally begin our adventure. But before we actually do leave Mesagoza, we do make a quick pit stop at the Delibird shop and purchase a charcoal that will boost my fire type attacks. Then we head to Contondo City and go straight to the gym building so we can take on Katie and a bug type Pokemon. And spoiler alert, this does not end well for the local baker. Katie throws in her first sacrifice, Nimble, and Wanda can just terrestrialize and ember the bug to its death. Tarantula is next in, and just like Nimble, this spider never stood a chance against Wanda. Last is a Teddiursa, who can just barely survive an ember from Wanda before landing a few fury swipes on our Fox. But we survive the onslaught of attacks, and we follow up with a second ember, burning her last Pokemon to a crisp. The Stony Cliff Titan Cloth is next on our hit list, but before we make our way out there, we find ourselves an Eevee having a nap under the tree. So we wake the little fella up and we catch him in a Pokeball. Oh yeah, I should probably mention that Wanda did also evolve. Speaking of evolving, Eevee is cute, but cute ain't gonna win me fights. So we go on a pretty tedious journey all the way to the Tag Tree Thicket so we can acquire a Leaf Stone for Yoda. And with this stone, our little Eevee becomes a powerful Leafeon. With our newest Fox added to the team, I think it's time we pay the giant crab a visit. Yoda starts off hitting Claw with a big Razor Leaf, while the crab responds with a block, not allowing us to escape. A second Razor Leaf from Yoda can land, and this time the crab has had enough and decides to retreat from the battle. We follow the coward, and we catch him having a cheeky snack while also giving himself a power boost. Razor Leafs now do a lot less damage to the Titan, but thanks to Shelter using Leer, dropping its defenses, we can start hitting the crab hard again. Eventually Yoda can deliver one last big Razor Leaf, absolutely crushing the Titan, and giving us the win. With Clove slayed, our next stop is Artisan City, where we can take on the next gym leader, Brassius. But of course, before we can even challenge the gardener, they force us to do some flora hunting first. Once they've all been returned, we can enter the gym and go face to face with Brassius. Wanda is still in a menacing mood, terrestrializing and embering the Petilil to a crisp. Smoliv drops in next, and this salted delicacy can do nothing but get embered to its death. Last is Sudowoodo, who does us a big favor by terrestrializing into a grass type, making him weak to our embers, which we use, bringing the fake tree to the brink of death. It does survive the hit and respond with the Trailblaze, which does pathetic damage before a second ember from Wanda can land, eliminating the Sudowoodo and defeating Brassius for the gym badge. The Open Sky Titan Bombardier is causing havoc, and it's up to me, yes, a 12-year-old boy, to put a stop to it. But before we go to take on the giant bird, we are due for a new team member, so let's hatch another egg. Yep, welcome to the team Elsa, the Alolan Vulpix. Although we aren't quite done with our preparations, as we head all the way to the snowy region of Paldea, and we find ourselves an Ice Stone, which conveniently can be used straight away to evolve Elsa into an Alolan Ninetales. Perfect, let's take care of that bird. Elsa shows off her power with a massive ice beam that deletes most of Bombardier's health before it hits back with a pluck that we take pretty well. A second ice beam can secure the win in the first phase, forcing the Titan to flee for its life. It then gets its hands on some special herbs. Okay, yes, I know that it technically does not have hands, but you know what I mean. Anyway, it has a snack, powers itself up, and then comes back for round 2. Elsa's just too powerful, with an ice beam slashing about half the bird's HP still. Then it goes for a Torment on Elsa, which is annoying, while Natalie goes for a Rock Polish, which is useless. This time Elsa goes for a Dazzling Gleam, due to being tormented, which surprisingly is still enough to send the Stork to the afterlife. From here we can enter the cave, get some herbs for ourselves, and then grab another badge from Arvin. Things have been going rather smoothly so far, but we're about to turn things up a notch by paying Team Star a visit. Giacomo and his Dark-type crew are the unlucky ones we go to visit first, so we enter their base, beat up some of their grunts Pokemon, until finally their boss comes out on his Starmobile, ready to face the wrath of my Foxes. Wanda takes a lead, and an Ember is literally 1 HP away from melting the Pornard, but it does survive, allowing it to hit Wanda back with an Aerial Ace. We then follow up with a second Ember, finishing off the Pornard, and forcing Giacomo to bring in his Starmobile. Wanda is not an ideal matchup, so Elsa can make her way in, getting Metal Sounded in the process, dropping our special defense. A Swift comes our way, which hurts a little, but a Dazzling Gleam deals even more damage back to the car. We trade blows until the Starmobile is brought down to the brink of death, and I decided to play it safe, bringing in Yoda, who can eat a Swift and then get Metal Sounded, before delivering a Razor Leaf, crushing the Starmobile, and defeating Giacomo. Laventia City is the home of the next gym leader we need to face, so we head there, only to be ambushed by Nemona. Thankfully, Yoda can make quick work of a Rockruff with a Razor Leaf, her Pawmi with a Razor Leaf, and then last, but not least, her Quaxwell with 2 Razor Leaves. Yeah, not sure why she wanted to battle me, to be honest. Now, before we actually do take on Iono and her electric types, we head to the Delibird shop nearby and purchase a covert cloak for Elsa to avoid getting paralyzed from the sparks. And with that, let's take on Iono. Elsa takes charge, going for a nasty plot, doubling her special attack, while the Watchwell goes for a pluck for minimal damage. Sticking to the plan, we nasty plot again, making ourselves even stronger as the bird goes for another pluck. Elsa then goes for one last nasty plot before eating a spark with ease, and then goes on the attack, starting with a Watchwell, who is obliterated by a super effective Ice Beam. Belly Bolt drops in, and it is a thick boy, but even so, it stands no chance surviving an Ice Beam from Elsa. Luxio is next, and it even intimidates Elsa, but we're a special attacker, so an Ice Beam has no issues freezing the cat to its grave. Iono is backed into a corner, bringing in her ace Miss Magius, but even this thing can do nothing but fall to an Ice Beam from Elsa, giving us the win and another gym badge. Team Star once again becomes my priority, and this time we have Miller and her fire crew to extinguish. Although, before we go in and start wreaking havoc, let's hatch another egg. With the OG Vulpix now in the squad, we can actually just go on the short trip and pick up this Firestone, allowing Naruto to evolve into a powerful Ninetales, which also just conveniently happens to be perfect for our next battle. Mela comes out on a Starmobile and she doesn't seem to be in a good mood, and, well, it's only gonna get worse for her. Naruto starts things off, going for an extra sensory, which actually does less than I thought. The turtle then hits back with a flame wheel, but thanks to Flash Fire, all it did was make us stronger. This time we use a flamethrower, which is not very effective, but deals good damage, while a clear smog crits us, but we still take it well. Naruto decides to troll the Torkoal, going for a disable, meaning the turtle has no moves that can actually hit us. It doesn't really matter though, as the second flamethrower crits the turtle and it takes it out. Melo now brings in the Starmobile, and this thing can try its luck with Swifts on Naruto, but he takes the hit like a champ, while flamethrowers deal respectable damage back. We trade blows for a few turns, but ultimately, Naruto finishes up on top, and we send the car straight to the junkyard. Naruto isn't quite satisfied with such an easy win, so I let him lead the way against our next obstacle, the lurking steel titan, Orthworm. He starts things off with an insane flamethrower that almost one-shots a metal slug. Naruto then takes the incoming headbutt well, and then hits it back with a flamethrower on the next turn, forcing the worm to run for its life. Although, he ain't getting away that easily, as we chase him down, watch him eat some more special herbs to boost his strength, and then we start the rematch. This time a flamethrower doesn't hit quite as hard, but it still melts away half its health, while another headbutt comes our way, bringing our Fox below half our HP as well. Unfortunately for the Orthworm, we are faster, so a second flamethrower can secure the kill, giving us the victory over another Titan. So as I was grinding for levels, I noticed this Primeape was acting awfully suspicious. Well, look what we have here. Isn't this little guy just the perfect Pokemon to add to the team? And now that the level cap is 30, he can fully evolve into a Zoroark, which is handy. Kofo and his water Pokemon are next up, so we head to Cascarafa City only to watch the guy leave as soon as we get there. But with my team of foxes, we can easily track down the chief, beat up his bodyguard, buy some seaweed, and then finally, he can return to the city so we can take him on. Oh, just quickly, we did pick up the Bullet Seed TM for Yoda, along with a loaded dice item, which as you'll see, will be used to dismantle Kofu and his team. The fight starts off, and Yoda goes for a Bullet Seed, hitting the Veluza 4 times, sending it to a watery grave. While Trio now enters the battlefield, and can even outspeed, hitting us with a headbutt, only to get destroyed by 2 Bullet Seeds from Yoda. Last is the big boy Crabobnable, and thanks to the loaded dice, we hit it 5 times with a Bullet Seed, taking this thick boy out for the count before it could do a single thing to us. You tried your best, Kofu. After comfortably dismantling Kofu and acquiring another gym badge, Team Sard then becomes my priority to deal with. The Ninja Atticus and his poison crew are the ones in my way, so we take him on. Atticus leads with Skuntank, who goes for a Sucker Punch, but it fails as Naruto goes for a Safeguard to protect us from being poisoned. The Skunk then tries its luck again with another Sucker Punch, but once again, it fails as Naruto sets up with a nasty plot, doubling our special attack stat. Persistent as ever, he keeps trying to Sucker Punch us, but it can't land as we continue to set up with our nasty plots until we get all the way to +6. Once he's used up all 5 Sucker Punches, we go on the attack and flamethrower the Skunk to a fiery grave. The mini River Room is next in, and this poor car stood no chance as it's melted away by a flamethrower from Naruto. Buck drops in now, and this time we go for an extra sensory, annihilating the pile of gunk. Last is the Starmobile, and this thing can outspeed us and hit us insanely hard with a Noxious Torque, but Naruto can hit it back with a super effective extra sensory, bringing the vehicle below half its health. We do get some health back from leftovers, and I do pause for a second to do some damage calculations, and thankfully, unless we get critted, we will survive. A Noxious Torque comes our way, and we do survive the hit on a measly 6 HP, which means one more extra sensory from Naruto can land, destroying the Starmobile and giving us the victory. Right, let's celebrate our victory by hatching our last egg for the run, and let's just say I saved the best till last. There's something about a Hisui and Zorua that I love, but we don't stop there, as at level 30, this mischievous guy can evolve into a Hisui and Zoroark, which looks beautiful. And let's not forget about our starter, Wanda. She reaches level 36, evolving into a powerful Delphox. And well, ladies and gentlemen, this is our final squad. Before we make any progress, we head to the Wastelands and we get our hands on the Brick Break TM, which will come in handy for our next fight. We then go to celebrate the arrival of our newest Fox at the local restaurant at Medali, and somehow, by ordering my meal, we end up getting ourselves into a battle with this guy called Larry. But we need his gym badge, so it's okay. I have Loki at the front, disguised as Shadow, and we go for our hone claws, raising our attack and accuracy, while the Komala responds with a yawn, making us drowsy. We double down, going for a second hone claws, while this silly koala goes for a second yawn for whatever reason. We end up falling asleep, which normally is a problem, but Loki is part ghost type, meaning the incoming slams have no effect on us. We do wake up and go for yet another hone claws, before following up with a super effective brick break on the koala. The Dunsparce enters the battlefield, but this big fella can't do a thing as a brick break crushes it. Last is Larry Staraptor, who does intimidate us, but that doesn't matter as we just go for another brick break, sending this bird straight back to Larry, securing the win. As soon as we leave the gym, Nimona decides that she wants to throw hands yet again, so let's teach her a lesson. Loki is at the front, disguised as Shadow once again, and we take an Accelerate from the wolf before going for a hone claws, raising our attack and accuracy stats. Lycan Rock then follows up with a super effective bite, almost killing Loki and even flinching us. Yoda then tags in, taking a bite well, and an Accelerate from the wolf before we can go for a Bullet Seed, taking it out within 3 hits. Now it's Goomy, and this thing has Sap Sipper, so my Bullet Seeds actually make it stronger as a Dragon Pulse brings Yoda dangerously low. Elsa makes her way in for free as she's immune to the Dragon Pulse, and we can then set up with Nasty Plots, raising her special attack stats while getting hit by Water Pulses for minimal damage. We then set up 2 more Nasty Plots, getting to +6 in special attack, and then she dazzling gleams the Goomy straight to the Shadow Realm. Puma does come in next, but this guy stands no chance, falling to a dazzling gleam. Last is Erase Quackwerville, but even this dancing duck can do nothing but faint, going straight back to Nimona. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, things are about to get cold as our next gym badge is all the way in the snowy mountains of Paldea, Montenevera City, where we can find Rhyme and her ghosts. We lead with Shadow and Loki, who both come out disguised as Wanda. Bennett strikes first and unfortunately hits Loki with a super effective sucker punch, wearing off the illusion. Shadow then retaliates with a Night Slash on the Bennett, but the ghost hangs on by a slither, which is okay, as Loki can get his revenge by Shadow Balling Bennett straight to the Shadow Realm. Mimikyu then goes for a light screen, finishing off the first round. Houndstone comes in next for Rhyme, and then we take advantage of the cheering crowd, who raises our attacking stats for using a super effective move. Mimikyu then uses a Shadow Sneak on Shadow, doing minimal damage while revealing his true form, and then we double up on the Houndstone with a Night Slash from Shadow to bring the dog low, and then a Shadow Ball from Loki to finish the job off. Rhyme now brings in her final Pokemon Toxtricity, and then the crowd starts cheering for us again, this time for killing one of Rhyme's Pokemon, raising our stats even further. Shadow then goes for an insane Night Slash on Terrestrialized Lizard, making it a ghost type for real this time, while a Shadow Ball from Loki can break the Mimikyu's disguise, and then finally the Mimikyu lands a Slash on Shadow. One last Night Slash from Shadow can take out the Mimikyu for good and give us the victory over Rhyme. Wanting to warm up, we head to Asado Desert, which is also where we can find another Titan that needs to be slayed, the Great Tusk. Yoda finally gets some love again, getting hit with a rapid spin and then responding with a Bullet Seed that hits 4 times, bringing the Titan below half its health. Another rapid spin lands, which is fine as 3 more Bullet Seeds can secure the win in the first phase. The elephant does escape, and then we find him having a snack on some herbs, giving him a power boost for the second phase. He starts off with a stomping tantrum on the Scovillian for big damage, while Yoda can hit the Titan with 5 Bullet Seeds, and then the spicy Capsicum follows up with a Razor Leaf, leaving the Titan in the orange. A second stomping tantrum puts an end to Scovillian, while Yoda gets some revenge with another 5 Bullet Seeds, almost finishing off the elephant. Yoda can then eat a Brick Break reasonably well before eliminating the Titan with a couple more Bullet Seeds. As usual, we enter the cave, get some more herbs, and then Arvin gives us one of his useless badges. Alphanada City is our next destination, and this is where we can find Tulip, who has the psychic gym badge we want. But Nemona decides to gate crash our gym challenge, forcing us to take her on first. Yoda leads again, getting hit by a rock slide, which flinches our Fox. This time we get hit by a sand attack, dropping our accuracy, but he stays focused and lands the bullet seeds, hitting the wolf 3 times and getting the kill. Sligo now comes in, so I countered that with Elsa, who's immune to the Dragon Pulse. Now Elsa takes this opportunity to nasty plot, raising our special attack while being tickled by a water pulse. Eventually we get to +6 in special attack again, and we can simply ice beam the dragon into the next dimension. Pawmot tries to save the day, but a dazzling gleam can deal with a rodent with ease. Last is a Quackville, but a dazzling gleam is once again more than enough to put the duck out of its misery. With Nemona beaten, we can now turn our attention to Tulip, so let's get that gym badge. Shadow is a secret weapon, coming in looking like Elsa, going for a hone claws, raising his attack and accuracy, while the giraffe tries to use a Zen headbutt, which has no effect as we're a dark type. Turns out that Tulip is not the sharpest tool in the shed, as she keeps going for Zen headbutts which fail. Well, she did set up a reflect at one point, but this allows Shadow to get to +6 in attack and begin the slaughter. Farigiraf is Night Slash to death, Gardevoir is next in, and surprisingly survives the hit, but Tulip still tries to use psychic moves, so we can follow up with a second Night Slash and take it out unscathed. Now it's Esparta, but this bird stands no chance taking a Night Slash from Shadow. Last is Erase Florges, and even her thick flower has no hope surviving a Night Slash from Shadow, giving us the win and yet another gym badge. Wanting to keep the momentum going, we backtrack all the way to the Snowy Mountains, as that is where the final gym badge is located. After sliding down between some flags, completing the gym challenge, we have earned the right to take on Grusha. Wanda finally takes the stage again, and she's not in a good mood. We terrestrialize her, and we flamethrower the Frostmoth to an early grave. Beartick is next in, and Wanda puts a polar bear out of its misery with a flamethrower. See, Titan is a big boy and can even survive a stab-boosted, terrestrialized super effective flamethrower from Wanda, but it only had one chance with a liquidation, which did not take us out, meaning we take it out on the next turn with a flamethrower. Grusha is getting serious, bringing in Altaria, but even this cloudy dragon is no more than a practice dummy for Wanda, as the flamethrower obliterates it, defeating Grusha and securing the final gym badge of the game. As much as I'd like to go to the Pokemon League and start beating up the Elite Four members and becoming champion, there is still work for me to do with Team Star and the Titans. Ortega and his fairy Pokemon aren't actually too far away, but before we pay the smug boy a visit, we want to pick up a very useful TM, Sludge Bomb. Now we can enter the base, defeat a bunch of grunts and their Pokemon, and watch as their leader comes out trying to stop us. Loki takes the stage, looking like Yoda, and we go for a nasty plot, doubling our special attack stat, while the Azumarill goes for a charm, dropping our regular attack, which is perfect. We stick to the plan, going for yet another nasty plot, getting even stronger, while the rabbit decides to go for a bounce, jumping in the air. Loki can simply use a protect, which stops the bounce from hitting us. At +4 special attack, I'm satisfied with Loki's strength, and we go for a Sludge Bomb, destroying the Azumarill. Dashbun comes in, getting hit with a Sludge Bomb, and then faints before it can even do a thing. Wigglytuff also drops in, but yeah, nothing changes, as this also falls to a Sludge Bomb. Ortega's last line of defense is the Starmobile, who can hit us with a Steel Roller, removing our illusion and revealing Loki's true form, while we retaliate with a massive Sludge Bomb that leaves the Starmobile on the slither. The Starmobile then goes for a Confuse Ray, which could be a problem, but Loki is not phased, going for another Sludge Bomb, destroying the car and teaching Ortega a lesson. Next on the agenda was Titan hunting, with the False Dragon Titan being the one we're looking for. We lure out the giant Dodonzo, and I let Yoda off the leash, attacking the catfish with bullet seeds, doing some big damage before Yoda gets hit with an Aqua Tail. A second round of bullet seeds can land, destroying the Dodonzo to the point that it decides that it wants to retreat from the battle. But it's not getting away from us that easily, as we follow him until he's backed into a corner. The second phase begins, and the plan doesn't change, as Yoda goes for some more bullet seeds on the Dodonzo, while Ivan's Greedent uses a takedown. This brings it low enough for one more round of bullet seeds from Yoda to secure the kill and send it to a watery grave. leave. The Tatsugiri then makes a mistake of wanting to fight us, so we take him on next. Yoda goes for a Leech Seed this time, which lands while the Tatsugiri takes its anger out on Arven's Greedent with a Dragon Pulse. The Fat Squirrel then uses a takedown, doing minimal damage back. Yoda is feeling confident, going for a sword stance, raising our attack stat, while the Sushi uses a taunt on Greedent before getting hit with another takedown. Now it's time for Yoda to show it who's boss, landing 4 Bullet Seeds, including a critical hit, which is enough to put an end to the Tatsugiri and defeat the last Titan of the game. We're getting ever so close to the end game, but before we proceed, we have one more task to do, and that is to defeat Eerie and her fighting crew. So we raid the last base of the run, plow through the Pokemon protecting their leader, and then watch as Eerie comes out on a Starmobile to face us. Loki starts things off looking like Wanda, which is good as the frog tries to go for sucker punches, which will fail as I set up with nasty plots. We keep doing this over and over, and even once we get to +6 in special attack, we keep going to make sure we don't get sucker punched. After 5 turns, he's finally run out of sucker punch PP, and well, let's just watch together. With every single task now finally completed, we waste no time and go straight to the Pokemon League to claim our right as the champion of the region. Our first hurdle is none other than Rika, and Yoda is ready to start things off by bullet seeding her Wish Cache straight to the afterlife. As expected, Camera Up comes in now, so I switch into Naruto for free because of his Flash Fire ability. Then I go for a Disable to make sure he can't use his Fire Blast anymore before taking insane damage from an Earth Power. Yoda now comes back in, eating up the Earth Power with ease, and then surprisingly can defeat the Camera Up with 4 Bullet Seeds, meaning I didn't even have to switch to begin with. Donphan is usually a bit of a problem because of the Sturdy ability, but because Bullet Seeds is a multi-hit move, we don't have that issue and we take it out in 1 turn. Now it's Dugtrio, who wastes no time going for a Sandstorm as Yoda Bullet Seeds him out of existence. Last is Erased Clodsire, who is pretty thick, but not thick enough as 4 Bullet Seeds can crush the terrestrialized Pokemon to its demise. The doors open up and a child makes her way through. Yep, she is an Elite Four member, and because I don't discriminate against age, we take her on. Wander is perfect for this fight, terrestrializing and then melting the Copperajah with a single flamethrower. Bronzong may have stood a chance if it was heat-proof, but it's not, and it dies. Corviknight is usually hard to deal with, but a single flamethrower can make short work of the bird. Magnezone does survive the hit thanks to its sturdy ability, and then annoyingly sets up with a light screen. We follow up with a second flamethrower on the next turn, and we take it out. Finally, it's her main Pokemon Tinkaton, who will survive a flamethrower thanks to the light screen, but we do end up burning the fairy before eating a super effective Stone Edge better than I thought. One last flamethrower from our Fox can land, and we've now retired Poppy from the Pokemon League. Larry is back for some more action, this time ditching the normal types and using flying type Pokemon. Elsa starts a fight with a nasty plot, doubling her special attack, while Larry's Tropia sets up the sun, getting rid of my snow, and, well, just cue the music. Hassel is now the only thing stopping us from facing Geeta, and is the final challenge I face before I can take on the champion. Elsa takes the lead once again, going for a nasty plot, doubling her special attack. Noivern then goes for a Super Fang, dealing exactly half our HP of damage, but it's a little too late for the Dragons, as our Fox is ready to sweep Hassel's team. Yep, that's the Elite Four, everybody. Our final test now awaits us outside, where the champion herself is waiting, Geeta. Shadow starts off disguising himself as Loki, and then goes for a nasty plot, doubling our special attack stat, although it is risky, as Esparta's opportunist ability allows the Emu to get stronger also. As expected, it goes for a Lumina Crash, which has no effect. We go for a second nasty plot, while Esparta also gets stronger, but thankfully, it goes for another Lumina Crash, which can't touch Shadow. Not wanting to take any more risk, this time we go for a Shadow Ball, sending the Emu straight back to geared up. Goat comes in, which is perfect, as a Sludge Bomb can deal with it with ease. Avlog looks thick, but his special defense is pathetic, and a Sludge Bomb ends its life. King Gambit is a slight problem, surviving a quad effective low kick, and then hitting us with a not very effective Cowtoe Cleave, revealing Shadow's true form. A second low kick does land, and it puts him out of its misery. Veluza now shows its face, but it leaves just as quickly as a Shadow Ball destroys the fish. Gita's final Pokemon is Glimora, so I switch in Yoda, who takes a Dazzling Gleam well, before responding with a Bullet Seed, hitting the Rocky Flower 4 times, crushing it to pieces, and securing the win over the champion, which then makes us the champion. Hold up, don't go clicking away from this video just yet. We're about to get to the good part. We still have to take on the real final boss, which is none other than Arven's mother, Professor Sada. So what we do is we head to the lighthouse, which will trigger the cutscene of her asking for our help, and now we have a few big battles to deal with. Arven is first up, and with the help of Loki disguised as Shadow, we can set up pretty easily with nasty plots, and then sweep through our classmates' Pokemon with absolute ease, completing the Path of Legends questline. Against Director Clavel, we have Shadow take the lead, disguised as Loki this time, which can let us set up with nasty plots, and well, we just sweep through his team as well. Penny is now a priority, and Elsa can just set up with some nasty plots in front of Umbreon pretty safely, and then go on a bit of a sweeping rampage also, defeating Penny and completing the Starfall Street questline. One last thing we need to do is take out Nimona and her team, which can be done by using Yoda to charm Lycanroc all the way until its attack is -6, and then we can bring in Loki, who can set up with nasty plots pretty easily until eventually we get to +6 with him, and then go on a sweep, taking out her entire team, finishing off the final quest of the game, Victory Road. With all the small fry out of the way, all that's left to do is head to the center of Paldea and meet up with Arven. Then we all jump on my Koraidon, who can fly us safely down to the bottom of Area 0. From here we make our way to the professor's lab, where we can find her. Well, technically it's an AI version of Sada, who will then take us down to the deepest part of Area 0 for the final showdown. And to make things interesting, I will not terrestrialize or use any setup moves for this final battle. Our starter for the run, Wanda, will take the lead in our final battle against Professor Sada's Slitherwing. Wanda goes for a brutal super effective flamethrower on the fighting bug, taking it out of existence. Sada then brings in her Brute Bonnet, but this mushroom is also flamethrowered straight back to the past from Wanda. Sandy Shocks drops in next, and expecting an Earth Power, Yoda makes his way in, taking the hit easily, before going for Bullet Seeds, slowly but surely eliminating the deformed Magnemite. Screamtown now shows its face, and expecting an Ice Punch, Wanda returns to the battlefield and eats the hit. We then follow up with a super effective Shadow Ball, which doesn't do as much as I'd like, but an incoming Play Rough misses, so it's all good. A second Shadow Ball leaves a Jigglypuff clone on the brink of death, while Wanda takes a Play Rough like a champ. One last Shadow Ball can hit the Screamtail, securing the kill, which then forces Sada to bring in her next Pokemon, Fluttermane. Loki now comes in, disguised as Naruto, and takes no damage from the attempted Shadow Ball. Loki then hits back with a Shadow Ball of his own, but it's not quite enough to eliminate the Fluttermane, who hits back with a Power Gem for decent damage, revealing Loki's true identity. This doesn't change the outcome at all, and one last Shadow Ball is all it takes to obliterate the Fluttermane to the afterlife. Last is the Roaring Moon, and unfortunately for Sada, Elsa is the ultimate counter, coming in and getting tickled by a Night Slash and annihilating the dragon with an insane quad effective Dazzling Gleam, sending this thing straight back to Professor Sada. And with that, we've beaten the game with just Foxes. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.